This game is called How Many Rows? So I'm going to go over that one. This one actually also needs, as I'm reading it, two pencils, two colored pencils. One for each, just so you can keep track of it a little easier. So we'll go over, we'll kind of jump back and forth. Here's my playing area. Okay, actually let me adjust things so it's a little straight on. There we go. Okay, so two players, one die. I have my green player and I have my blue player. Okay, and so instructions says player A rolls the die 2 times. First roll determines the number of rows, and the second roll determines the number of squares in each row. Draw a rectangle on anywhere on the recording sheet, then write the number sentence 3 by 4 equals 12 in the rectangle. So I'm going to go. So I have 2 by 2, so I can do that anywhere. Here blue will be first, so I have a 2 by 2. I'm going to write 2 by 2 equals 4. And now it's green's turn. 2 by 5. So I'm going to go 2 by 5. I'll go here. 1, 2. Oops. 5, 4, 5. 2 by 5 equals 10. And let's check back in here. And it says players take turns. Each rectangle cannot overlap a previous rectangle. So what that means is I can't go like if I go again, I can't go through this rectangle. Okay, it cannot overlap. It cannot go into another rectangle. Each player continues until he or she is unable to place a rectangle on the grid. At that stage, the player records both the total number of squares covered by rectangles on the grid as well as the number of uncovered squares. And it doesn't really give I would say maybe then this one you could work together to see if you can get all 100 squares of grid. So instead of like competing against one another, try working with one another to get as many squares filled as possible. So that at the end of the game, you can kind of keep track and see how well you did. So at the end, you count how many squares are covered and then how many squares are uncovered. So I'm going to pause and play through the game and show you what an end board might look like. This is what it might look like. And then I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I have 11 uncovered and I have 89 filled in. But again, in playing this, I think, because you could theoretically get all of them covered with different, I mean, if you took the amount of time to roll the dice. So I think in order to challenge yourselves and to really think it through, stop when the first player can't draw a rectangle. So really think about it, and again, work together to cover as much as the grid as possible. But stop when one person cannot. So then that way you really have to think about where you're going to be putting the rectangles so that you can help each other try and get as much 100 as possible, and you can start thinking about a strategy. Okay? Alrighty, have fun.